And another
What's
one.
up, everybody?
We're back. The Funkin Homies, episode 3 in the building. I myself am a Christian, the one Funkin Homie, and to my right, I got the Godfrey, the other Funkin Homie.
That's
What's
right.
going on, everybody? How we doing today? Got a couple people in the comments already. What's
Look
going
at
on,
that.
Remedy? What's up, House of Rags? What's up, Keith? What's up, Mackenzie?
My car's
X6.
my car's back on the road as of yesterday. If anybody wanted to know or cared, but the clutch is fixed, and yeah. So there you go.
Want-
Chris, get at us, Chris, because I believe you won last week, and I don't know if we sent that out to you yet. So we're trying
Yeah,
to
we
get a hold
probably
of you.
dropped the ball on that one. I think we needed to get an email address, and we
Yeah.
didn't do that. So I'm
Listen, if you guys win something, you got to get back at us, right? We'll tell you how to do it. It is real easy to find me and Christian's number because like we just give it to everyone. No joke.
we are, we are pretty loose with the digits. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so it's real easy to find us. No, you know what I'm saying? I mean, especially with me, with my day job, I got my cell phone on my business card. With bio bombs, I got the cell phone on the business card. So we're not shy about contact. As long as within reason. Don't be showing up to my house at 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you can if you want to text us 2 in the morning, I'm like, yo, where's my prize at? I'm like, yo, where's your details at? And we'll get it out to you. Because
Yeah.
you know, it's no different. We get Shopify inbox at 2 in the morning too.
All right.
Sometimes I might answer it if I'm feeling feisty on the Shopify inbox. So
Hey, so we're gonna be doing 2 giveaways again tonight, guys. Same thing. We're gonna be dropping two $50 gift cards at some point throughout the live stream. Pay attention to the kind of things that we're asking or whatever. Obviously, we're gonna just get some other kind of silly question going on or whatever. Hopefully, you guys are paying attention. Um, oh snap! I see the other Chris M is here. Watch out now. The other Chris M. Looks like there's some competition in the building, gentlemen.
there's two Chris M's. All right, we got.
Yep, we got Chris
Oh, he
M.
emailed Jamie and he took care of it. Okay.
Yep. So,
All right, good.
all right, guys. So obviously it's getting close to the holidays. Just give you a little heads up. Godfrey and myself are trying to work out what we're doing next week for the podcast. We may do a later live stream, just to kind of spread some holiday cheer the night before Christmas. See if we can get a little Santa sneak peek or whatever going on here. Potentially we have something lined up. So we will keep you posted throughout the course of the week. Matt, you got any update for me on that, on a time frame, and if you think you can pull that off or not?
Um, blame me and then blame my niece. I'll be talking to her later tonight. There's all the listen. You guys know how it is. If you at family time, like if there's like parents that are split up, then it's like no, I get the kids Christmas Eve. No, I get the kids Christmas Day. I'm just an uncle being the bystander, being like, this is why I'm not getting married. So anyway, I'm just saying they threw a little wrench in there. So if we don't have it, you could blame the Godfrey. I'm bah humbug, but I'm gonna figure that out tonight. So we will let you guys know. Stay tuned for a post or an update on the Instagram, the TikTok, whatever it may be, if that's gonna happen on Christmas Eve.
All right, cool. So we'll revisit that when the time comes. Obviously, the week after that is New Year's Eve. I'm not really too certain what we're going to do in that scenario yet either. I know that Chelsea, on the other side of the pods or whatever, she's kind of dealing with the same thing because she usually does everything on Wednesday. So I'm pretty sure she's going to do some pre-recorded. If we can, we're going to try to come live to you guys. Who knows? I might have to get Aaron from Phoenix to come on and just while out for 5 hours with me on a live stream on New Year's Eve or whatever. We'll just pop in and out of the chat or whatnot. In any case, guys, without further ado, I do want to introduce our guest. We have somebody very cool with us today. I'm not sure how familiar everyone is in the chat with Daniel Salazar from Flawless Mobile Detailing, but this guy is a real one. Definitely one of those guys that when you meet him in person, you have even more of an impact through talking to the guy. A real OG West Coast homie, in my opinion. Godfrey and me rep the East Coast. Daniel's definitely here tonight, repping the West. But without any further ado, I want to bring him into the studio or whatever, and we'll go from there. Daniel, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, guys?
How are you, man? Good to see you. Good to see you.
You as well. You as well. Matt, I've been watching you. Nice to
I
meet you.
appreciate it. Yo, that's that is you guys impressive lighting setup in that van. I'm noticing it's tantalizing my eyes, and I'm just
I-
curious. Like,
Is
is
it
there?
too bright? I can lower
No,
it.
no, 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 no. I mean, in a good way. I'm just curious by it because that I almost feel like if we pan in the camera, there might be multiple DVD players in there. I don't know. Like, like is there a box in there? Is that all detail? And you just got some dope lighting in there with it?
I just put the lighting for like when I'm working, finish up in the evening, starts to get dark. I could kind of see where I'm, all my stuff. Try to put it all back together neatly. I try to keep my van pretty neat. If you could check it out.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, you got one of the freshest vans in the game. I can speak over experience. I got an MV200 for our mobile detail business. I'm telling you, once it gets dark around 4:30 here or whatever, like I can't see anything inside the van. It don't matter if I turn the dome lights on or not. Like the whole back cabin, there's not any light. So you've actually just inspired me to jump on Amazon and get myself a quick $20 pair of LEDs and hook it up.
It's
Because, dude,
very
that
cheap.
that thing's bright.
So one would say by
Influence.
putting in lights, you could protect the dome inside of the dome, so to speak, because when it's dark in there, that's when you get those like errant hits on the head, and you're like, man, what? Did someone stab
Yeah.
you in the top of the head? What happened there?
See
Oh, I
how
hit it
bright
on.
that gets, but I'll dim it for right now. What's
pretty
cool is
cool.
you could switch up the colors.
Yeah. You got a little
That's why I always keep it on
house party going on in there. A little
Yeah.
band party.
All right, I dig it, man. I dig it.
I'm not gonna
That
lie.
reminds me that
Kind of
like
jealous.
it reminds me back in the day. Like remember like back in the day, like mid '90s, people had those conversion vans. They were all lit up. Like
Yeah.
With the
dudes
bed in
would
the
have
back.
water beds in the back. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the LED
Yeah,
the LED lights were like a big
Yeah.
thing back then, dude. We used to get picked up in the morning. There was a family down the street who used to drive us to school, and they had the conversion van, dude. And like they had two captain's chairs in the back seat when you first got back there, and then they had like the bench across the back. But I remember it had like a 13-inch TV, like
Yeah.
up in the top, and the VCR and all that. And like, we drove around. I think, my mom had we had a LeBaron, we had a LeSabre, you know what I mean? Like nothing crazy. We had like 4 kids and like 2 adults. It was like 6 people in one of those cars or whatever. We would get picked up to go to school in the morning from this one family. And dude, we used to feel like we were living in luxury, man. Like that was the
For sure.
coolest 10-minute ride to school you could ever possibly have, man.
Yo, does anybody ever say to you like, because I see in the comments right here, this dude's like, it looks like a DJ van. Does anybody ever think you're a DJ because of that?
Nah, no. It's more I don't drive with it on. I just put it
Okay.
on right now just because it would be really dark in here. The sun's about to set right now. You can
Mhm.
see outside, sun's about to set.
Man,
nice
you're making
sunset.
me jealous, man. Godfrey and me were just out there. I don't know if everybody in the chat knows, but we popped out to see one of our distributors. They throw a really nice event for all the families that purchase from them throughout the course of the year over at Uber Detail Supply. And we flew out for a holiday party, literally one night trip. Me and Godfrey jumped on a plane at like 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, blasted out to Cali, got out there at like 1 o'clock, stopped to see one of our distributors real fast, made a quick other stop to the store, and basically popped up over at this party, stayed for like 3-4 hours, hung out or whatever, jumped back literally into the hotel room, woke up in the morning, grabbed a really, really great breakfast at the joint that Matt picked, which by the way, Matt, shout out to you for picking a really dope hotel for us to stay at. And then we literally jumped on a plane at 11 o'clock in the morning. I think we had to be at the airport like 9 or something like that. And we flew all day, all night to just get back this weekend. So that Cali sunset, dude, was crazy. I tried to tell Matt, like the night when we were there or whatever, I'm like, bro, you got to check this sunset out. Like it is absolutely gorgeous right now.
How'd you like the weather?
We don't catch much luck, man. The weather was cool, but I'll be honest with you. I had a hoodie and a t-shirt on, and at nighttime, it was actually kind of brisk.
Yeah, it gets pretty in the evening. It gets little chill. Mornings are chill, but throughout the day, right now, I mean, I busted a sweat today. Today I had 3 mini details and then a full detail, and I busted a sweat.
Yeah, see, that's nice.
Right now it's chilling. It's 73 out.
Listen, when I was there was one thing that was going through my head the whole time.
Party.
No, I'm just joking. It wasn't like that, but it was the most I just felt like there wasn't a minute wasted in the amount of time we spent out there. Like, I'm not joking. Like, we got sleep, but like there was not a minute wasted in the like 24 hours we were there. I've never seen so much stuff jam packed in 24 hours.
Good.
And
It was a
somehow we,
really quick run, man.
yeah, it was a quick run. But you know what though? It proved to me that you can go to Cali and hang out for a day and leave, and it's not really that bad. It's not that bad. I think it's worth it. I think I would do it on a whim, maybe 1 or 2 days. But Cali was dope. First time I was out there, we were in the Corona area, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is Orange County, Riverside, in between there somewhere.
It's like
Um,
Riverside County, I think.
yeah. I think so. Yeah, and it was pretty nice. And you guys, you don't understand when we plan a trip. Christian doesn't know this because I'm the guy that takes care of this.
He's my handler.
Yeah,
I can publicly say it.
yeah.
Anytime I travel with Godfrey, he's my handler. He works out
He
everything.
This is the first trip where we didn't have to put him in the cage with the mesh on it. You know, they let me bring him on like a regular passenger.
True that.
But I painstakingly will go through these hotels, and I'm like, I'm not getting boned on a bad hotel here, so I want to know what the deal is. I'm not gonna lie, I probably spent about a good 4 hours booking a hotel for one night. I'm not joking because SEMA was
Where'd you guys
great.
stay?
It was called Ayers Hotel. It's like
AY.
AYERS.
So were you
Yeah.
close right there in Corona?
Right in Corona, and I wanted to be as close as possible to Uber Detail, so we were
Yeah.
really close to them. We were about 3 miles away, and the bed was nice. You know, everything was pretty there. You know, when we were in SEMA, man, that hotel, it was great, except for when you were in the hotel. The hotel is great, except when you're in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all good, but yeah, man, it's it's a labor of love. But yeah, that hotel was pretty nice. I was happy. Corona, Cali was it was interesting, man. First time being there. We'll definitely be back again. That's for sure.
Oh, come back, guys. It's beautiful here.
What
Yeah.
part are you in, Daniel?
So I'm in the San Gabriel Valley, so I'm more of towards the mountains.
Hmm.
So east of Los Angeles, uh, south of, or actually north of Orange County. So I was probably where you guys were at. I was about 45 minutes away. San
Okay.
Gabriel Valley, Baldwin Park, California.
Gotcha. Now that sounds interesting. It's such a big state, you don't realize driving.
Oh, dude, we lucked out, dude. Like, I'm not lying. We went to get the rental car, and I don't know what we were supposed to get originally, but like, we were talking, having fun with the kid that was working the area, the valet or whatever. And he's like, you guys want a convertible? And I let the guy friend, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Let's get a convertible. So they dropped us in a convertible, dude. We dropped the top and we just got a chance to cruise because,
Nice.
from the airport to where the hotel was, we did a little loop to one of our distributors or whatever real fast and then kind of just shot down. And dude, we had like a nice run where, we had like some decent, I wouldn't call them mountains by any means, but like some real nice high valleys and, sand dunes and all the kind of stuff that, that kind of like gravelly kind of composite you guys got, the big hills and stuff. And like we were kind of riding down next to them things and going down and up, and you would feel like the cool air in the valley, and you would come back up and it would get warm again through the sun. And it was cool, man. It was a great first experience for us to get out there. I mean, we really had next to no time to chill. We were kind of in, kind of out, and
Where'd you guys fly in at?
John Wayne.
John Wayne. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody told us like, stay the heck away from LA on a Friday.
That's right. Yeah, you did. So that's cool. You came into Orange County.
Yep.
Came down the 91.
Yep.
Mhm.
55
Exactly.
to 91. So that's a nice drive, man. You went.
We
through
might
some-
deal with Ontario next time we go in that same area, because what I didn't realize is, some people fly in here to go to Disneyland. So the rental car situation was crazy. There was so many rental cars. I've never seen anything like it. So
Well, sure, because Disneyland's right there.
yep.
Yeah.
I was just out there this morning. I was in Newport Beach, which is
Nice.
right up the street from that John Wayne Airport.
Okay. So what, you said you had three details to do today?
Yeah, I did 3 mini details today, and then I did a detail. So 3 details in Newport. Usually it takes me like probably an hour and 20 in the morning at around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Dead traffic, and then did those details. Shot back out here to my area, 10 minutes from my house. Busted out a full detail, and then made my way back home.
Okay. So like on your, I guess, so tell us a little bit more about yourself, right? Like we had the pleasure of meeting each other actually in person during the summertime at First Choice. Obviously cool experience. You actually they flew you in, or you flew yourself in to do a training for them guys. You do that, what, a couple times a year?
we do about 4 or 5 classes. Well, throughout the year, we'll probably do like three, probably around 4 in Jersey. We do around 5 or 6 here in Cali, and
All
then
right.
we used to do them down in Miami, down south.
Yep.
But we haven't done none down there recently. But throughout the year, we're probably doing probably like 11, 10 to 11
So you like
classes.
every 6 weeks you're
Yeah,
doing one.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. It's really
So
cool.
I was gonna say, how did you get involved with that? What led to having that kind of relationship develop? Obviously, I mean, to be involved like that with the organization and be the person that they look to train everybody new who wants to kind of come into business or maybe even step up their skills. Like, how did you get that opportunity to be able to work with them guys?
I, I always put everything towards the Lord, man. The Lord put me in the right position, in the right place. This is my next month will be my 12th year in detailing, and I'm strictly mobile. And I remember about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, about 7 years ago, someone was like, "Hey, Dan, you should start you should start teaching people because everyone asks about what's up with your service and how do you perform all these jobs a day, and there's just a lot of kind of questions on like how do you do this, and it's like you should do a class. So someone gave me the opportunity to do some classes, but they're super cool people, and they gave me an opportunity, but they were giving me like just say store credit,
Okay.
but I didn't care. I didn't care. I love touching down with the fellow detailers, and being able just to get these people from basic car washing or even just many details into paint correction and ceramic coating, introducing it to them, kind of getting them the feel of not to be afraid of the machines, and a few teaching a few classes with them. There's about 20 students per class, which was awesome. I didn't think anybody would be interested in what I had to say or do.
Oh man.
And yeah, and then after that, I kind of pushed that to the side because I wasn't really cool with the store credit type thing. And then one day that's when Wendell Pena from First Choice, he we met each other at a detailing event. So some of my buddies would throw events to where just detailers gather, and we all kind of just go over like, we show off our vans. What do you got? What do you have? What are you doing? Kind of get to know each other and stuff. And then once I met Wendell Pena there, and when I met him there, we just clicked, bro. He's seen my
Shout out
van.
to Wendell. Wendell's a good guy.
He's amazing, man. That's he
Very good guy.
yeah, and when I met him, he wasn't in Miami yet. He wasn't in Florida. He wasn't in Jersey. Strictly here in Cali, and right, he's 5 minutes from me, basically, right. And
Okay.
and I used to drive a truck and pull a trailer, and he asked me, "Hey, I always see you drive by my store, but you never stop at my store." I'm a whoa.
Uh,
It's hard to pull into your store with the
yeah,
truck
yeah,
and
yeah.
trailer. I
Which
drive.
big rig?
No, I pulled what was it, like a 7 foot trailer, and I drove a Silverado.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
so I was long, I was
Yeah,
big.
yeah, 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 yeah. You can't
So,
just pull in somewhere with that thing unless you got some serious whip game with the trailer. You gotta be real careful.
and I was good, but I just was like, I'm not gonna put myself in that position to go be pulling in the back of Windows shop. You'll see it one day. You're gonna come out here one day. We're gonna have it.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
But
We're
yeah,
listen.
so
We're doing a tour, but go ahead.
I love it. I love it. I hope so. I can't wait for you to come out here, or even when I get back out there to see you. But
Yeah,
yeah, so
absolutely.
so now after someone rear-ended my trailer, I say, what, it's done pulling a trailer, burning out differentials from pulling a trailer every day. So I bought myself a van, and I bought myself a little Nissan Envy. Perfect for me. And then that's I instantly got a setup from a detail shop, and I was like, I'm not gonna say I was one of the first people to have a detail setup, but I was like one of the first people to have a detail setup, like almost one of the first, and it was it started to grow that community of, you don't necessarily need this to detail, but it sure does make it super easy at the end of the day to just put everything back in its home, move on to your personal life. So when I started and when I got the Envy, I was Rubbermaid bins, everything
Right.
looked neat in the morning, and by the evening, it took me an hour just to organize everything back up.
Right.
Now I'd
Right.
have all these bins out on people's lawns. So it just really it I got the job done. I made the money. I gained the clients, and it just I kind of invested into that setup. Once I got the setup, I was just like, oh, what took me so long to even get to this point? Because now
Yeah.
it's 10 minutes every evening, clean it up, it's decked out, go in the house, chill with the fam, or go over my. I never chill with the fam. It's always business, answering phone calls, returning messages, going over emails. But it gave me that time, and then it allowed more time with my family. I have 3 kids. I have a wife. I have a granddaughter. So it's more of, that's what life's about, man. So if we're constantly in the rig and in the field and constantly doing work, what's life really about? And that's what
Amen.
changed. And so
Amen.
yeah, so then after I bought it, I wanted to grow, but I didn't want to buy another Envy because for me I was just outgrowing it. My steamer, my extractor, my all my machines. So that's when I moved into the Metris, the long wheelbase, and that's where you see I have all this room in here. I'm able to put my hood prop in here, throw a hood in here, go and train people if I needed to. But most of the time, I'm just doing training at first choice.
Right. So when I met you, like, obviously I pulled up. I think you guys started at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I think I pulled up around 10:30, something like that. Kind of just tried to get myself set up because I was doing a little training myself. I was asked to come up and be a guest as well, just to kind of show everybody a little bit about some of the products that we sell over at BioBombs. And one of the things I noticed right away, man, is like the way that you present yourself and speak about the craft and the art of detailing and the workflow, and then the balance between recreation, family life, and the job. I think like that was kind of what made me gravitate to you, originally when we first met, because I was like, yo, this guy is like a real one. Like it's not, you're like dead serious when it comes to like showing people how to use a rotary, or how to wet sand or whatever, and like you go through, you're very meticulous with the way you teach, but in the same sense you're not very drilling it down people's mind. You're very calm, you're very collected, you're like you have a composure and a certain like je ne sais quoi about you, right? Like you have this thing that you do, that kind of the way you speak to people during your trainings is, it's very comforting for people who might be new or uncomfortable trying to get themselves into that space, right? Because I think when we were there was 3 or 4 guys, I think, that were just starting out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like that was their first time touching a wheel.
yeah.
That's intimidating.
It's very intimidating for individuals, and that's what I try to get them to get the confidence of don't be intimidated. So when I first started 12 years ago, going on 12 years, by in next month will be my 12th year. So 12 years ago, basically, I didn't have no one to mentor me. I remember I would reach out to individuals, and got on the gram, got onto Facebook, stuff like that. I'd see dudes at the detail shop that I thought were like, you know, top. And I'd ask them questions, and it'd just be like, yeah, they wouldn't even answer me, man. And it would make me frustrated. And where I come from, like I come from the streets. I grew up in a juvenile system to a prison system. So you don't even want to get at me. Like I start getting offensive, and I start getting, I start triggering something in me, and it's like, don't go there. That's not my business. If these individuals, they don't know me, they don't want to give info to me, cool. I'm gonna learn it. But
Do you think
after
they were purposely ignoring you? Like, or
I don't think
Well,
purposely, but
12 years ago was different, though. I don't think the
it
game
sure
was
was.
it wasn't as welcoming as it is now. The internet wasn't around. You kind of had
Nope.
to protect your craft, right?
Yep.
You didn't want to share too
Yep.
much because
Yep.
in the neighborhood, that'd be somebody taking bread out of your basket, right?
Exactly.
So they were gatekeeping. They were gatekeeping.
Yeah, pretty much. But I didn't let it bother me. So what I did is I looked for seminars. I looked for free seminars because when I when I first started, I quit a good job, but I was tired of working for the man. I was just tired of working for somebody.
Amen.
I've been working since for people since I was 19 years old, 20 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm 40. I'm 46 years old. I'm going on 47 in June.
No way, dude. I didn't realize you were 46. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So, but at 20 years, in 20, so in 19, I'm sorry. So yeah. Anyways, when I came home from prison,
Yeah.
yep. And so when I came home, I was 20 years old. I was lucky. I didn't have to do too much time. I came home and I changed my life, right? And I always worked for somebody. And when I first started, I did car audio. I love car audio. And I did car audio for 13 years. I advanced. I made good money with it.
Shout out.
Oh, man. So how do you not have a box in the back of that van, man?
That's why I was just going to ask. Do
Yo,
you have a sub in the van or not?
Is there a
Nah,
sub in the
bro,
van?
because what that used to, man, I used to get pulled over I used to, trust me, I used to sub.
You had the earth shaker.
Probably's
in the back,
bad
didn't
with
you?
that too, dude, because
Yeah.
they don't want you to do nothing like
You had
that.
the earth shaker in the back, didn't you? Were you that dude when you would go to it'd be like 10 o'clock at night, they drive by the house, it's like bang, you're like, what is that? Like,
Bro, I would build custom systems, I would
Yeah.
port the port right through my rear deck. I'd cut my car, the rear deck of the rear of the car.
Yep.
I'll port that base straight to my cab, and you would film me coming down the block, bro.
I love that,
But
bro. I'm sorry. I love that.
Pull me over, and it's like, bro, I'm working right here at the stereo shop. You know what's up. You pull me over every day, but there goes those tickets, bro. Disturbing the peace. So I pretty much got out of the car audio, and the reason I really got out of the car audio industry is I noticed we buy our cars now with in dashes, Bluetooth, alarms, everything, Bose system. I mean, everything's coming in these cars already. So I knew the industry wasn't thriving anymore.
Yeah, it changed.
It changed big time.
100%, bro. You can't throw a system in the way you used to be able to anymore. I mean, you could drop something in like in the MV or, MV200 and inside the work vans because they have like the standard decks most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So you could drop one of them in there. But like if you get like a new Camry or you get like a Dodge or something like that, all that stuff's integrated within the dash. You have other features within that infotainment system. Like you can't just plug in the same way no more. You got to do, I think there's like some type of interface you got to put in between. And it's like everything just got so much more expensive. When we were young, bro, we used to like, every car we had, it did not matter, dude. As soon as we got the car, rip the door panels off, pop open the seat things, run your power wire down the one side, your RCAs and your ground down the other or whatever. Like throw the sub in there and literally like you didn't put the car back together. Like you would just turn it on and it would start hitting and you'd be like, yeah, we're good, dude. Because
here's the thing.
Exactly.
If I can't rip out that center console, put in the Pioneer double din, then I don't want the car.
Then I don't want the car. I don't want it.
I respect that, guy.
I've been like that since like even when I was super poor and young, I would have a hoopty, but that sound system would still be on point no matter what. I was rocking a Mazda 87 626 stick shift. The paint was faded, but you know what? I was laughing when you're telling me I got pulled over by a cop in New Jersey at Seaside Heights on foot for a noise ordinance. I was like, yo, I was like, my car doesn't even go over 35 miles per hour. The cop, he wrote me the ticket. I was like, man, bump New Jersey. I'm out of here. I'm leaving this state.
That's so funny, dude. That's the truth,
though. Christian, you knew run that hot wire on one side and the RCA's on the opposite side. Or else you get that
dude, I'm telling you, and I learned that the hard way, right? Because like we always, when I was younger, I mean, maybe we'll get into it at another time when I start telling a little bit more about the troubled past I had and stuff like that. But we used to always be able to get our hands on stuff when we were younger, right? Like guys always had stuff. So if you wanted an amp, you wanted subs, whatever, you did a little trade, a little this, a little that, whatever, and you could always kind of get your hands on stuff. So like every time somebody got a new car, we would put something in, but like that gain, ground noise, whatever, dude, I mean, that's like, that is the worst thing in the world. And once you do that once, you learn, you're like, yeah, we got to split that feed. And then
Yep.
once you
Yep.
figure that out, for the most part, it was pretty easy, right? People are like, yeah, how do you put a radio in a car? Like, I don't understand. It's like, just yank that thing out, man. Like, purple with a white strip, the purple with a white strip, purple to purple. Like, and you
Exactly.
just connect everything up, man. Throw some electrical tape on or whatever, jam it back in there. Like back in the day, we didn't do anything clean. As we got better, we would wrap all the wires up nice and clean. So when you would pull everything out, it'd be nice and primed and pretty, and you crimp everything up and it looked all good. When we first started, dude, we were just throwing a half a piece of duct tape, what I mean, the size of like one nub of my finger, and we just press it on both sides and stick it in there. And as long as that thing was thumping, we didn't care. And then, bro, we found out about bass knobs. Oh man, that was the end of the world for me. You gave me like
epicenter,
individual bass adjustment on every track. I was in like heaven, bro. Heaven. I'm still like that. I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't do it myself. I would get a friend to help me that knew what they were doing, or I would pay for it because I want it professionally done. I didn't want my car to catch fire. So it's like, because like in my Mustang now, I have a 10-inch subwoofer. I fit one in the trunk somehow. I had a box. I found a custom made box and jammed that thing right in the back, 10-inch Alpine, and but I found a guy that I trusted. I kept going to him every time. You know what I mean? It's just that audio, man. It makes it can make your hoopty feel like it's not a hoopty.
Oh
It
yeah,
provides that illusion. You know what I mean?
for sure.
It didn't matter though, right? Because like it doesn't matter what kind of car you had when you were young, especially. Like it didn't matter. You just wanted to like bang your music loud and obnoxiously, right? Like,
Yep.
I had a buddy, man. He had a Dodge Shadow, like one of them square, short body joints. It was white. It was like white on the top and like gray on the bottom for the two tone. I mean, it was a bucket, bro. He had like these lights on the back, and like this was before LED lights and all that shit came out. He had these like Christmas lights that he put across the back of the headliner, and they were lined across the whole back of the headliner. He had it hooked up to the feed of the music. So like as the music was bumping and the bass was hitting, these things would be like pulsing in the car and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't care back in the day. It was like anything you could do to accessorize your vehicle or whatever, but that was it. So
what was the Honda that had the hatchback? What's this Honda CR-X or whatever it was? What was it?
CRX was a real popular Honda.
Like dudes would get that, and their whole back would be the sound system, right? Like,
oh, do you throw 215s in there? You'd think that you'd like go deaf even trying to play music in there. I mean, it's
ridiculous.
Some of the systems, man, the stuff that went down. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen, and you probably obviously, Dan, you've been in the game. You heard some crazy stuff,
Oh,
I mean,
fun times, bro. That was
man.
That was a good. That was one of that was one of the best things. Besides detailing my passion now, that I'm able to really provide for my family. But that industry back in the early 90s, in the 90s, going into the 2000s,
golden era.
I mean, I remember we used to put that Sherwin Vega, that speaker that was almost as big as a bed of a truck, and build a box around that thing, and it would make people's hair just
I know.
I know. Daniel, I got something that's gonna make you smile. You're gonna laugh about this. So here in Philly, they've had a problem. They call them sound parties.
Yeah.
And a bunch of these dudes and girls will get together on the other side of the river in Philadelphia and all be bumping their stereo at the same time. It got so bad, New Jersey started to complain to Philly and had to shut them down because it was going across the river to a township in New Jersey. It was so loud. And I was like, yo, it was in Northeast Philly. It was just like, it was so loud, it's so bad that the states started to go at it about it. And then Philly had to shut it down. I was just laughing because Delaware River is not a small river. It's not, it's not like a creek. Yeah. And it just traveled all the way across there, and these people were tweaked about it. So I just want to tell you that
decibels, those decibels travel.
Oh man, dude, it was ridiculous, man. They might have disturbed like nature. That's how much it shook over there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's something about subs being in a whip, man. It was cool. So I was gonna ask you a question going back to shit. I lost my train of thought. Pick me up, Godfrey.
I wanted to ask you a question because I know you got into the detailing, and it sounds like you went from audio to a different job and then to detailing. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And you said you wanted to work for yourself. Now I want to ask you, because everybody hears all the good stuff, and I'm going to ask you, like, was there ever a micro moment when you first got into this, right? When you got into the detailing, where you're like, bump these customers, bump this detail, bump this job of going back? Like, did you ever have that? Like, not that you ever wanted to quit or didn't like it, but ever had like just that job that just kind of sometimes brings you to the brink, maybe, you know,
For
when you first
sure.
started out.
For sure. Especially first starting out, I've always cleaned my own personal cars, washed them, clayed them, waxed them. But now when you start getting into serving into taking care of clients, trying to gain clients and make people happy. Oh man, it could get frustrating, especially when you're first starting. Now, 12 years are going into the years of it, I started to learn that, it's just natural for people to sometimes, I'm not going to say rude, but be outspoken because they are spending their money. But in the beginning, it was nerve wracking, and it could frustrate a person. It broke me sometimes. I didn't want to quit, but I sure did kind of want to just push back for a while. But in reality, there was no pushing back. There was no letting stuff go for a week. It had to be grind mode because this is my main source of income. So it was just more of deal with it, and learn how to deal with people. And it worked. The car audio industry, I worked in warehouses. We would be in the back chopping it up with dudes all day, and we didn't have to deal with the clients until they came back and kind of wanted to learn how to adjust the bass or adjust something.
Sure.
But in reality, that was very micro.
Yeah.
Running your own business, it's on a whole different scale. You have
Face
to
Yeah,
face to
your
face.
your image is everything. That's what I was going to mention. Obviously, with you getting into the van and stuff like that, man. When you obviously upgrade your van, like you have like you're very well presentable now, right? Like you show up at the customer's house and like your van's there. I mean, you have a couple videos on Instagram. I think I highlighted one of them before you were getting on the show, but it's like you just drop everything out. You open the door up, bang, your table goes
Yep.
out. Open the door up, sign goes out. Open the door up, you pull your cords out. Like everything is like ready to go. When you were originally doing, getting started up, it was like that for us too when we first started our mobile detailing thing. Like we didn't have anything kind of set up that way, right? Like you were
No
kind of
setup.
just throwing bins on top of
Yep.
itself. You had
Yep.
a whole bin of like all your sprays and the stuff that you use in one thing. You got certain towels in another bin. By the end of the day, that thing was like a bomb went off. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But you
That's
have this beautiful presentation now, right? Where like it's kind of part of the progression, right? Of where
exactly.
you're growing as an individual, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure you didn't see yourself getting to the point where you were doing trainings or even stepping your van game up to what you have right now, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, even stepping it up to where I had 3 vans on the road. My goal, my my goal is I want 5 vans on the road. I would love to be into a shop. I love the shop setting. I'll rent out First Choice's shop that I teach out of. I'll
okay,
rent it out to do cars out there. But we're getting into that the era of people love to be catered to. People work from home. People
yep,
are people are in their office, and
absolutely,
my car's in the parking structure. Get it done when I'm done with my day. I know my car's going to be done.
right.
So that
Well, we pay for convenience right now, right? I mean, that's the world we
convenience.
live
Yeah,
in, right?
Uber, we
So,
got Uber Eats. We got Lyft. We got all these things that Amazon.
yep,
Everything comes to our doorstep, bro.
you
Walmart.
might as well, right? I mean, why
Bro,
not have you come to the door?
so that's why I want to expand like that in the mobile part. But maybe one day I might see myself into a shop, because when I get into these shops and work, I'm like, what am I doing? This is golden right here, right? Like I
Yeah,
got it made. I don't have to go nowhere. But being mobile, even coming from Newport Beach this morning, I 4 people rolled up and asked for my cards, and it's like my van is a card. It's a rolling billboard.
you got the giant QR code on the
Oh,
side,
you can
name,
scan.
phone
Yep,
number, whole
yep.
9 yards. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful what you got going on with your van, man. You did a great job with it. I think a lot of the people that are in the chat or whatever, if they haven't followed you, you guys definitely got to check out Daniel's page. I mean, he makes some killer content. But even on top of that, just from a presentation perspective, he does a deep dive on his van and multiple videos, and you can kind of see the way he's got stuff set up. And I guess just so that people know, right? Because you're this kind of guy, and I'm going to put you out there, I guess, without even asking you about it. But it's like if anybody has any questions about anything or wants to learn anything or wants to reach out to you outside of the pod, I mean, you're one of those types of guys. Like you always extend your hand to help somebody if you can give, right?
Always, bro. Because like I said, when I first started, I didn't have mentor. I didn't have someone to answer a question that I. And it's terrible when another human being has a question and someone doesn't answer it. And it's like, come on, bro. I'm not. Yeah, I'm only
I
asking simple questions. Yeah, man.
I got a question for you. Um, so it seems like to me, from what you went through, when you first started detailing, that you have a passion to be able to answer those questions for those people that feel like they're not being listened to, right?
Exactly.
And it feels like to me that you're bringing that to life, which is a great thing. So, when you said you have 3 vans, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna imagine you have a couple employees.
Yeah.
Can't drive them all at once, right? We don't got the technology yet. So, one thing I maybe wanted to have you talk to people about, because people in the audience probably go through this. A lot of people say it's hard to find good help, which we all know it's true, right? It is hard to find good help in
Yep.
a lot of fields. But you being a teacher, it sounds like at the heart of it, you want to teach someone how to become a detailer and teach them to do it the way your company does it. So do you find that, you know, everybody wants someone to walk on this experience that's a superstar, right? But do you find that you have a more of a long lasting employee when you can teach them and be a teacher instead of a boss?
Well,
When it comes to your business.
yeah, and so right now, I'm at 2 vans.
Hmm.
This past year, I was in a Christian knows. That's when how
Yeah.
we met. I was in a terrible accident, destroyed my back. I was out of work. That's when I had 3 vans on the road. I was rocking 3 vans for probably around three years. And during my recovery, one of my employees, and I won't say nothing bad about him. He is actually resting in peace now, and so I definitely won't speak any negative towards him. But to the fact of he was taking advantage of my clients and profiting from them without including the business, if
Mm.
that makes sense. So
Of course.
he would get to a client and upsell them to a ceramic, but then cut us in on the detail.
Right.
Which, at the end of the day, that's my van, that's my client,
Of
Yeah.
course, man. Of
business.
course.
Kind of just
Of
cut us
course.
That's
So
fraud. That's theft. I mean, there's no
it's
doubt. That's
theft,
Here's the thing though, right? A lot of guys, right? When we had the same. I mean, we had employees with our mobile detail company that we do as well. Like it's tough, man. Like we were talking about this earlier, I think, in pre lobby or whatever. But it's like you can't. It's hard to put that type of trust in somebody. Like a lot of guys want to grow their mobile detail business, right? And they're probably going through the same thing where they say to themselves, do I want to get another van? How do I go about getting another van? What costs are associated to that? Is it worth me doing? I got to bring somebody on. What happens when that person wants to go off and start on their own, right? Like there's so many different contributing factors. And then obviously there's the, hey, like, are you doing side work in the van on my dime, right? Which like to me, that's like a cardinal sin. Like that's biting the hand that feeds you, right? Like you don't do that.
or at least cut me in on that deal that you just made.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go and
Yeah.
get side jobs, cut me in because I cut you in on my deal.
Right.
But so that's why I had to let that individual go. I At the same time, my third van, I my son-in-law works for me. My daughter's husband, the
Mm-hmm.
father of my grandchild. So, he's amazing. Joe, Flawless Joe, that's what his Instagram handle is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Joey, he's just amazing. He I sent he did he did training with me for months. Then I had him take my class. He attended my classes, multiple classes after. Then I shot him out to one of my mentors, Keith Touch. Amazing, amazing detailer. Keith Touch. And so I sent him to train with him because I did
Mm-hmm.
training with him.
Now
I
is
did
Joe the young boy that I met at the training in
uh
Jersey? Who's the
no,
white who's the white boy? The young kid
oh,
that was there.
that's my guy right there, dude. So that is that so you met Devin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Devin.
so Devin. So when I say Devin gave us the opportunity, all my students, 400 students, in these all these years we've been teaching, we got about 400 students in, and I get opportunities to meet these individuals. They give me the opportunity, and all I'm doing is I'm just being a servant to them. They pay that little fee, and they come in, and I just kind of lay it on the table how I do it. And with Devin, I want to say with 95% of the dudes that interacted with me, they're all successful. But Devin's just a beast, man. That dude, he seen my van, he got a van like me. He seen the rap, he wanted the rap.
I love
And
that.
not to say that, oh,
No,
no,
not at
no,
all. It's not a
no,
biting thing. It's a respect thing.
it's and
Of
that dude is
course.
his parents did so well with raising him as a respectful individual. That dude, that when when we started talking online, he's like, "I'm flying out, Dan, and I'm coming from New York." I was like, "Bro, I swear I wanted to fucking cry." I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I know. I'm
Yeah.
trying.
No. It's
I
all
know
No,
not
good,
to
man.
cry.
Listen,
you know
we're
they
we're
say
the Funkin' homies
people
out here.
like to
We
use
messed up all the time.
they like to use the word biting, but really there's an old saying: imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Remember that.
Bro, that dude. I'm so proud of Devin. I'm super proud of. Like I said, 95. Even I want to say 98% of my students, man. We talked today. Dudes are just out there killing it. But Devin being, from the West Coast to the East Coast, he flew out 2 times to take my class. He took my first detailing, the paint correction, ceramic coating, and then I figured, you know what? I'm gonna offer color sanding just to have in your arsenal. It's not something that I try to tell my my fellow detailers to go out and push these color sanding jobs, but it's in the arsenal. It's in the mind. You know what to do. You know the process.
Yep.
Dude, Devin got himself a shop. He went and did PPF class. He went and did window tint class. The dude is just offering everything to do in our industry. And
So it's important to do that, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to be
yes,
continuing to you want to hone in, you want to obviously lock in with what your main offerings are, right? But one of the big things you try to do, I mean, we try to do that as a brand. I mean, it's part of growing, right? You want to make sure that your complacency will kill you, bro. Like, you always got to try to strive to be better. Always got to try to improve yourself, pick up new services, learn new things. Every single thing you try to pick up and do might not be the next niche for you. You know what I mean? But at least trying and expanding and trying to push yourself into that uncomfortable area, right? Like, I'm a huge advocate for that. Like, do hard shit. That's like a big thing for me. Like, press yourself past your limits, do the things you don't want to do. It builds character, it builds integrity, it gives you the ability that when some other bullshit happens to you in your life, you don't let it affect you in the same sense because you're used to putting yourself in tough situations, right? Like, learn to do things outside of the normal realm of what your detailing services would be, right? Let me pause this real fast. I don't want to forget. We got two gift cards to give away. We try to keep these things around an hour. We might go a little bit long today because we're having fun. But real fast, I want to rip off the first giveaway. It's going to be for a $50 gift card to the House of Rags. Daniel, you got to follow these comments for me to make sure I get it right. But the question, guys, what kind of vehicle and accessory to that vehicle was Daniel driving when he went past Wendell's shop when he spoke about that earlier on the podcast? It's going to be a 2-part answer.
nice,
So we
nice. I
ain't,
love
we,
it.
ain't, we, we
Love
ain't
it.
giving away $50 easy around here. You got to work for that thing.
Hey, Juicy Free got it already. Look at, Mackenzie got
That's
it
it.
already.
Are we accepting truck or do we need to make a model?
No,
Hey,
we need to take the whole thing. So let's see here. We got the 7-foot
Mackenzie got
trailer.
to make and model.
There we go. It's Mackenzie all day. All day.
Keith got it.
No, we get Mackenzie first.
Sorry,
Mackenzie
Juice. I can't
first.
just let someone throw a truck out there. That's a noun.
Yeah, no.
Truck.
We ain't doing that.
Truck.
These are awesome, man.
Nice job. All right, so let's
was
do what we
Rob.
didn't do last week. Mackenzie, make sure you reach out to us, shoot us over an email, get in touch with Jamie or Eddie. Don't make sure we get you set up with the gift card. I want to slide right into another session we're going to try to do, guys. We're not fully prepared for this thing. We're going to try to rip it down to the best as possible. So me and Matt came up with this new segment we're going to do. Basically, we're calling this segment Fast AF Boyee. So
What?
So, boy.
Get it, boy.
All right. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to just pop up some questions to you, dude. We're going to have you just rip off an answer top of your head. You can elaborate on things if you want to. It's either going to be, choice A, choice B, or you can do neither, or you can do both.
Shoot it.
Just it's really just off the top of the dome, dude. It's nothing crazy. We don't got to get deep, but if you want to get deep or explain something a little bit more detail, by all means, knock yourself out. So we're going to start things off a little bit easy. Dog or cat?
Oh,
Okay. Rock or rap?
rap.
All right, I'm gonna sidebar that. Give me a couple of your favorite artists you like to listen to.
Oh, Ice Cube,
Uh,
Eazy-E,
uh,
Tupac.
I got that West coming all day, man. Any East Coast homies in there or no?
You know what? It's Biggie for sure.
Okay, I can respect that one.
Yeah,
Okay,
he should have really been like number one.
okay,
But I'm a big fan. You know,
okay,
I,
okay.
I like rap, but rock. Don't get it. I got a big play. I'm a country dude. I'm a,
As you get older, right? Your palette for the music you like to listen to expands, doesn't it? Like it kind of widens, and you get to really notice the beauty of all types of music. Because I agree with you, dude. Like I got heavy in the country over the past 2 years, to the point where me and my homie, bro, like we share songs with each other as if it's like a rap song or a rock song or something. Like I'm like, yo, this is a banger. He's like, oh, totally, dude. And like,
sure.
there's some of my homies I'm around where it's like, dude, like, what are y'all sharing right now? You know what I mean?
It's to the point. I go to Stagecoach.
No
you
shit.
know what I'm saying? Stagecoach, Coachella. Like, I like all different kinds of music, but right now I'm really big into Christian music. I became a Christian, in the beginning of the year. I'm loving the path that I'm going, serving the Lord. So I'm listening to a lot of Christian, but rap is always from when I was youngster. So rap.
Funny story about, just real quick on the rap thing. We'll move through the rest of this. I know it's supposed to be fast, but Ice Cube was actually like the first real tape that I got when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So me and my man were in like the 4th grade at the time, right? And he had like my first Sony Walkman, like the red joint that like flipped up. It didn't have rewind on it. You would have to flip the tape, hit fast forward. You know what I mean? And he would listen to it was like the intro, like the Predator was the tape we would listen to. The Predator is a classic album, top to bottom. I mean, to me, that's one of my favorite pieces of work that Cube did.
For sure.
I mean, I would bang Today Was a Good Day all day, every day in the morning. I would listen to it until I memorize it. And as soon as that song was done, my boy would hit me and he would take the headphones, flip the tape, and he would listen to the track that was on the other side, which is like, it was the intro to the Stomp and Walking in My Big Black Boots joint. The intro, like the second track or whatever. The KKK's got 3-piece suits or whatever. And we would just flip back and forth, dude. But whatever. That's my little Ice Cube song. I love Ice Cube. So as soon as you said Cube, I'm like, yes, I love that. All right, let's go. Let's move this thing a little fast. Boxing or MMA?
MMA.
All right.
MMA? All right, cool. Now, let me ask you, let me sidebar that. Was it always MMA, or has it just recent with the state of boxing that MMA is better?
I used to be a big boxing fan. I used to love watching, back when I was exactly. I was just gonna mention, all the boxers back when I was a teenager, child to teenager.
Evander, Lennox,
those dudes were monsters.
Oh, dude, it was crazy.
Monsters.
Yeah, it's a clown show now. Boxing's a clown show. I think for like 75% of it is.
Well, especially you got these YouTubers in there that are, I don't know. It's a little different, but MMA now, that's like these dudes scrap. These dudes really put it down, dude. And it's like what it's gonna be bad for them when they get older. Trust me. Like they're my man.
All right, so we're gonna keep going. Let's keep this thing get a little bit more in the deeper waters here. Smoke or drink?
I used to smoke. You smoke weed. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a funny one: Ace Ventura or Austin Powers?
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. All day, bro. All day.
That's comedy, but Austin Powers is comedy too.
They're both really good.
Yeah, they're both
good. Ace is legendary though.
Oh, dude, when he comes sliding out of that rhino's fucking ass.
Oh, bro. Dude, I think, dude, 2 was so funny. I argued with somebody the other day about it. I was like, yo, I think Ace Ventura 2 might have been funnier than the first one. Bro, and the first one was really funny, but when he came out of that rhino's butt, dude, that was wild. Or when
that
he like
acting,
flipped the whip into the parking spot and he's
yeah,
like a glove. You know what I
like
mean?
a glove, dude. That acting that dude does is just like insane,
He's such a
insane.
talented guy, man. And as he gets older, it's the same thing with him, man. He's getting more mature. You listen to him talk, and he has a lot
Oh,
of real like wisdom to bring to the game or whatever. I
for sure.
definitely like Jim. All right, so solar R&B.
Oh, R&B.
All right, R&B what? 90s R&B, new age R&B, that
Yeah,
baby
well, you
making
know what?
R&B. Where are we at?
I'm a soul person too, man. I my oldies, bro, Brenton Wood and all these just oldie songs.
Yeah.
That's my get down right there. Like that's what
Okay.
I grew up to.
All right.
Your teenage life. That's what we jammed all the time, you know.
Okay. Okay.
But R&B, you know, that's like more of with my girl,
Sure.
stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
once I
Classic.
started getting,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. All right.
R&B, R&B,
All right. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. All right. Star Wars, Star Trek.
Star Wars all day.
Okay. Okay. Chicken or beef?
Beef,
Hey.
beef,
Extract or dry clean?
egg dry clean,
All right. Salty or sweet?
sweet.
All right. Now it's the last one. I'm borrowing this one off of Noriega from the Drink Champs podcast. He asked this question to everybody at some point during his interviews, and I think it's one I think you're going to give me a nice little spin on. So, loyalty or respect?
Loyalty, bro.
Okay. You want to explain that a little bit more for
So
why you picked that as opposed to respect? And I'm just curious to get your opinion because it's always a good question to ask.
so for me personally, when you give that loyalty to individuals, the respect comes with that loyalty. But if you just have the respect from individual, you could a lot of people.
You
I
can respect
personally
somebody, but you can't. That doesn't mean you're going to be loyal to them.
loyal, okay. But when you're loyal, that loyalty shows the respect, okay. So I respect everybody until I get disrespected. That's when I start to disrespect, and
Yeah,
I don't see. But the loyalty goes a long way, man. And
absolutely.
so I
Absolutely.
believe that with the loyalty, respect falls right into that, you know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
loyalty for me, loyalty.
That's what's up. I always pick loyalty as well. Definitely had a couple conversations over the years with people that argue respect, and then both answers are kind of, they have their own position you could play. You could say in the same sense, right? Like if you respect somebody, then you should ideally, right, from a principle standpoint, you should be loyal to that person as well. But the game ain't really like that nowadays. So, all
No,
right, bro,
it's
that was fun, man. I didn't get a chance to, I didn't think that was going to go as smooth as it did. So definitely ain't mad about that one. I want to
it was
remind everybody
cool.
real
That was cool.
fast. Don't be a hater. Subscribe and smash that like button. We definitely need to get as many likes on the pod as possible. This is only week 3 for us, so it's only going to get better. Um, you know, we are trying to incorporate some new things. I'm sure you guys have been hearing. We've been doing some soundboard stuff and things like that. We're still trying to work out getting some of the quirks done. We're trying to work on some extra camera angles, add some extra animations and some fun stuff into the podcast. But in case you guys don't know, we're actually a little bit busy, running our side thing, or our main thing, I should say, which is bio bombs. Speaking
The
of which,
best.
thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, we've been a little bit busy with that, but we got a couple good things we're trying to cook up to do here. Obviously, Daniel, I want to thank you for coming on and being a part of the show with us, bro.
Thanks for having me.
We can do this whenever you want. We kind of are trying to keep an open format for people. I consider you to be one of my homies in real life, man. So, anytime you want to come by, hang out, even pop in for 5-10 minutes, or just, we can hold up to 10 people in the room. So, anytime you want to pop on, just say what's up, maybe share when you're doing a training, something like that or whatever, I'll be more than happy to kind of help you out. Let the people know when you're doing that. You're more than welcome to come back and hang out anytime, man. It's been a really cool time so far today.
When's that flawless scent gonna be dropping?
So let's talk about the flawless scent, right? Because anybody that's still here right now, you got a little something special you do with the bars.
I do.
It's kind of a crazy combo, and I think
Did you
it's
smell it
important.
yet? Did
I
you
think
put it
it's
together?
So I
Oh,
have
this is the
not.
one you
I
were
have
telling me
not.
about?
Yeah.
This is
So
the
we got
combo?
back. We got back on Saturday night. Sunday I was running around like crazy. Yesterday was kind of wild, and always Tuesdays is like a thing where I'm jumping into the pod. But my goal is after I take one of the holiday scents out of my vehicle, because I've been rocking the birch. I've been having the peppermint fatty in my truck for the past 2 months while we were testing. I finally just threw the birch in the other day. But when I take them out at the end of the week, I'm going to try your combo. And I think it was important to give you the public space here, right? For me to say openly that this was your combo. Nobody told me about this before you told me about it. And I hear very good things about it from you. You want to share that with the people?
For sure, because if you could make it, you could simply do it yourself. It's just the two bars, and I got them right here. Being that I'm in my van, I mean, it's hard to see,
Yep.
but that classic
Iced out.
iced out, and then
What we got for part two? Hey, the
part two
squash.
wash. Okay, so my fragrance has always been this little cassette thing, right?
Yes, it's
Done,
CX5, bro.
done, bro.
Absolutely.
That is done out of my life because that little fragrance is gonna last you a week. This squash right here,
Yep. Yep.
half a bar and half a bar, so a complete bar. You got this squash type iced out fragrance popping in the car. I've been having it in my wife's car. I put it in there right after. I want to say I put it in there right after Halloween. That thing
Okay.
is it smells so good in there. It
I gotta
smells
give
so good in there,
I
dude.
gotta give it
So
a
you're
try
telling
now.
me you're putting half a squash, half a iced out
Yep,
together.
It's a
yep.
wild blend, bro.
Yeah,
It's a.
that's listen, I might try it.
Wild
The funny
blend.
thing is
Do you like the
yeah,
squash?
I like squash.
Do you like the iced out?
I'm on the fence on iced
Okay,
out.
so I've always been a black ice Christmas tree dude, right?
Yep,
Even
yep, yep,
Right.
even liquor store, 99 cents.
yep.
You go to a smoke shop, you go to
Grab
downtown
one.
LA, you could
Yep,
buy a whole box of them for like really cheap, right? So I used to
yep.
always rock those, and that's just that. I don't know that I don't want to label it as certain individual type, right? But certain individuals will have that in the ride. You know what I'm saying? More of the like cholo type, uh more of the I don't know, not necessarily not the squash type though.
Right,
JDN, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
But then once I started getting into like I started kind of not liking the black ice so much. So then I went into squash, was been my scent for the last 10 years, bro. And it's like, okay, this stuff. And then once I seen your bars, after having that conversation when you called me during my recovery
Yeah.
and we chopped it up for an hour, bro, you that last question you had of loyalty
Hmm.
showed me who you were, and I became a loyal individual to you.
I really appreciate that,
And
bro.
it's grown into a respect type thing because we got to meet up in Jersey.
Yep,
We've always chopped it up. When I
yep.
need something, you're there for me. Vice
Absolutely.
versa. If you need, like I will never say I'm the one who pushed it here in the West Coast.
Hey, I'll
Because
say it. I'll say it, man. There's a couple guys in the beginning that got me, but you were without a doubt one of the first ones, if not the first one, who was repping for us and tried to get us into some distributors in the California area. And
bro, your product is gonna go worldwide. And it was gonna do that regardless of the help that the individuals that wanted to speak on it.
but you know what it is? We owe a lot to people like you and to our loyal customers, everybody that's still in the chat. I mean, I could shout people out. I don't want to miss people, so I'm not going to give anybody in particular, but everybody who uses our products, um, they're very loyal to us and they help grow the brand, right? And that's a really important thing. And wherever it is that we are able to link up with people and get that connection, we really value people trusting us enough to be able to, be the supplier of what they use to get rid of the funk in the cars and stuff like that, and for the bars and stuff. But, in our case, man, or whatever, you had just gone down, you had just gotten into your accident. I had messaged you, I think it was either right before you got into an accident and then you got back to me afterwards. Is that how it worked out?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And you were like, yo, bro, my bad. I got in an accident. I immediately just called. I'm like, yo, dude, you cool? My bad. I didn't mean to like press nothing, whatever. And then we just wound up staying on the phone for like an hour and a half or whatever, just chopping it up.
You
And
you put all my pain aside, bro. That's it. I have a lot of individuals that would reach out, a lot of friends, and I don't have too much friends, but in the detailing community, there's some solid dudes in this community, man, and
I
they were
agree.
there for me when needed, you know. And you, but when you reached out to me, bro, I pulled aside. I crutched my way to the backyard. I sat there, bro, and we just chopped it up. And I was like, this dude don't even know me, but yet he's giving me all this time to not even talk about his product, but to see where I'm at in life. And then we got into to the
Of
bio,
course,
you
of
know,
course,
and
of
it's
course.
like,
Sure, for sure.
and when that package came, bro, I was like, what? Like, dude
Yeah,
is dude, what he says he does. And then when I tried it, finally got to try, I put my guys to try it.
yeah,
And what I
yeah,
was
yeah.
doing is hitting up guys that I knew in the industry, giving them to them. So they could, so it was not around, you know, there's different types of odor bombs out, but
Mm-hmm.
no bio bombs, bro. And
Mm.
nothing that's so effective as the bio bomb. So when I finally got to put my hands on it and touch a car that came to my home, my mind blew, bro. And then that's where I was just like, okay, keep pushing it, keep telling individuals about it. Let's make
Yeah.
a video about it. And once the video dropped on it, and I, like I said, I would never say that I'm just a very micro piece
You're a
of trying.
OG. You're a OG to it, bro. There's certain cats in the game, and I know I talked to some of these guys about it personally when we have conversations or whatever. There's certain people I consider to be like Bio Bombs OGs, and without a doubt, dude, you're like one of the committee members of the founding fathers. You know, I mean, you were in there from the beginning. I much respect to you for that because you allowed us to open up doors to First Choice and to these other distributors. And obviously, you know, once people see and catch drift, the people who were scared to reach out now are like, oh, well, Daniel's validating this, or oh, I see it over here, or oh, I see it there. Like that doesn't happen without somebody reaching out and being able to give that extra push to somebody, right? And like that's what I really appreciate and respect about for you. Like it's the same thing with what you do when you go to do your trainings at First Choice. I mean, you could tell there's a passion involved in what you're doing, but you're not just speaking about learning how to polish a car or use the wheel the right way or properly wet sand a vehicle. There's other game you're kicking on top of that that I
Sure.
think is what makes you be able to connect with people so well, dude. So, you know, shout out to you and salute to you for that 100%. Go
I got a
ahead, man.
question
You
What's
that's
got
up,
I
some.
got
man?
a question that's burning. So I know you traveled here on the East Coast, and you're on the West Coast. East Coast Mexican versus West Coast Mexican. Who's the winner?
Bro,
Mm.
West Coast for sure.
Can't you tell this guy picked all West
Listen,
Coast artists? You know he's going
I'm
Hey,
just
West all
curious.
day.
no,
You got to
Listen,
respect
let me
that for
tell
what
you.
it
Let,
is.
let me tell you though, when I'm in the East Coast, you know it's fire out there. The
what's fine.
Cuban food, the
Okay,
Cuban food, or is it
Okay.
Cuban or Colombian?
it
Colombian.
could be both.
Oh,
Listen,
I don't know.
I'm gonna
Whoever
head right
serves
down. I'm
the
heading right
whoever
down to
serves
town. I'm gonna try them both tomorrow.
the
I
plantain
deal
or
in
the
the restaurant
plátano.
industry during the day.
That's cute. The
Oh, we,
Cuban food, plantains and all that shit.
yeah, that
Yeah.
food is so fire, man. Every time I'm there, I have to have it, bro.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
to have
So,
it.
so it's funny you say that because I'm an East Coast guy, and I've had a lot of East Coast Mexican. My day job is around the food industry, and my first time on the West Coast, and we went to a Mexican place, and I was like, man, I'm digging this Mexican food out here better than the East Coast Mexican. I was like, yo, there
Bro,
was a difference. It was slightly different. The menu was different. They had I was like, man, it's definitely different. There's basic stuff that's pretty much the same, but like I saw other stuff out there. I was like, okay, it's a different type of Mexican food, East Coast to West Coast.
bro, we're 3 hours from Mexico.
I know it's more. I guess you could say there's Mexican is such a influential food all over. It's all over the country. So it's you wonder like the farther I guess it gets away from the source is it not as good? But I guess if
It's
it's closer to
different.
Mexico, it must be better.
Bro, I'm
It's
not lying.
different
I could eat Mexican,
every day.
no bullshit. Like if it was like an everyday, I'm saying 7 days a week. If I could, I would literally eat Mexican. I could eat Mexican 3 to 4 days a week for the rest of my life, and I think that I would be perfectly fine.
I eat it every
It's
day,
like
bro.
it's like a pizza to me, right? Like I gotta have pizza any day of the week. Like I love it. It's gluttonous. I shouldn't eat it every day. I feel the same way with Mexican food. Like it's really good, but I feel like a lot of that stuff, like the cheese and all, I can't be eating that every day, bro. I feel like I'd be like 400 pounds. You know what I mean? Like,
Tex-Mex is
For
good too. Yo,
sure.
go to Miami and go to a Cuban bakery and get a Cuban sandwich and then some pastry.
The
Whew.
best.
I'll tell you,
The
there's
best.
the Cubans I like are in big ass brown sticks, right?
Hey,
You can
ECG,
have
yeah,
both.
I know you're in there.
Okay,
You
wait,
can
but
have both.
some New York pizza, man.
Oh yeah. Listen,
That's the best pizza on earth, bro.
when people that live on the East Coast buy like Papa John's, I'm like, you're slapping God in the face because when you go to other parts of the country, yo, listen, they don't. They think they know good pizza, but they don't. I'm like, and I do have my nose up in there. I'm like, yeah, I know good pizza.
Yeah,
Great pizza
yeah.
here.
Nah,
Now you got to
you
search. You
have to
might be able
go.
to find one, but you got to search here. It's like everywhere. It's in the suburbs. Like if you're on the East Coast, you could get a good pizza in your area. But if you're in
Oh, bro.
Florida, you might be like Little Caesars is what I got, and you're like you're bankrupt
Uh,
as far as pizza.
That
Hey,
little
time out.
spot up in
I
Times
gotta
Square
call
is
this guy
fire.
out real fast. He wants to put a comment on here talking junk as if I picked the pizza joint that we went to in Vegas. I mean, Matt, is that? Can you
Oh, wait,
validate me right now?
wait.
Now we
Where'd
went.
you go in Vegas?
Dude, it was we don't even remember the name of it. It was so bad. Somebody picked it, said it was supposed to be the best pizza or whatever in Vegas. We ate
The
it. It
dude
was
says to Eddie,
absolute
he's like, yo,
garbage.
my
Let me
grandpa
tell
likes
you.
this pizza, and he's from Sicily. I'm
Ne-
like, yeah, right. I want to meet
ne-
his grandpa.
hey, next time you're in Vegas, you have to go to the Cosmopolitan. You have to go to the second floor. You have to find this hallway. It's a long hallway, bro. It's a little pizza joint at the end of this long hallway.
Hmm.
It's New York style all day long.
Really? See, I wish we
Yep.
would have known that because we spent a hell of a lot of money on a bunch of trash. Dude, we went to this pizza joint, and I don't want to revisit this story because we talked about it once already on another pod. But really simply, I said to the guy, yo, I don't want none of this. I said, I want a plain pizza, sauce and cheese. And they're like, we don't do that. And I'm like, yo, we should leave right now.
Yo, Eddie's over here saying how the East Coast boys picked the trash pizza. I warned everybody at that table. I was like, that pizza's gonna be
I'm
hot
telling you,
fire.
it's
I
ridiculous.
warned everybody. I was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I was skeptical of the guy. I was like, oh, your grandpa likes that pizza, huh?
He literally jumps in the pod 35 minutes late, and all he wants to do is troll right now. You know what I mean? It's wild to me. It's wild to me. You know what I mean? We'll let him get away with it though. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll definitely co-sign this. The best place to eat was the buffet. We went over to Caesars and just ripped it down. Two
Oh,
of the 5 nights that we were down in Vegas or whatever, or 5 days we were down in Vegas, we ripped down Caesars, and Caesars was ridiculous.
There's good food
Yeah,
in Vegas.
that was Wile E. Coyote that made that pizza choice, and then he redeemed himself with the Caesars buffet.
Yes, exactly. Yes, our boy Wiley did pick that. But yeah, man, I mean, listen, I feel like we could stay on and just talk or whatever. We got one more giveaway we got to do. Godfrey, I'm going to let you think about this one, rip off a question.
Oh,
Obviously,
boy.
as we're working through this, I'll give you a couple minutes to work through that or whatever. So, yo, just to revisit, like, people with the whole scent thing with the squash and the iced out, right? Like, that's a pretty bold combination. We've had people do like the vitamin C and the vanilla for like an orange cream. We had a cherry cream going. Somebody mixed fresh AF with dope soap that I thought was kind of a crazy one to do. But like I never personally even thought about doing an iced out in the squash. And when you said it to me, I think it was at least a month ago now that we talked about it or whatever, you're like, yo, you got to try it. And I like couldn't because we were in the middle doing all the holiday testing and stuff like that or whatever. But that's on my hit list. Because like I said,
I got a bag full of them right now. Like I got 20 bars right here. Like
yeah,
that is the scent. And
love that.
Yo, I'm trying it.
I like
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give
Right.
iced
See
out a
how you
chance
like
with
it.
the squash. I'm gonna try it. All right, I got my
You
question.
ready with this?
Yeah. Now this is an educational question, but since I've been hearing it a little bit lately, how long should you leave the aerator in the vehicle deodorization kit?
Oh, bro, 45 minutes to an hour.
Wait, Daniel, you're not supposed to
Yeah,
give the answer,
Daniel,
bro.
you were
Kill-
Oh,
Yo, the
I
best
thought that
part,
was for me.
yo, the best part
No.
is, right? The best part is that Matt really like dug deep to try to find that question on the fly while still
No,
having conversations, right?
All right, so I'm gonna switch it up then. So
Different. I'm gonna stay quiet.
Yeah, that's so
what's
good.
what's to get the maximum amount of I guess potency from the vehicle deodorization kit without an aerator? What's the minimum time you should leave it in the jar? This is without an aerator. The minimum time. I'm. I want to go with. I want to go with. What do you think, Christian? Is it 12 or 10?
So I think the question was a little bit skewed, right? And I'm not trying to
Sorry,
like
guys.
come in
Sorry,
and bust it.
guys.
No, no, no. It's all
Sorry,
good. It's
Matt.
all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I mean,
Um,
it is 10 to 12, so it should be whoever was first, right?
I mean, realistically, if you want to get the maximum time out of it that we recommend on the jar, it's between 10 and 12 hours. 12 hours is the number that we have on a jar. It's overnight. So if you want to rock the 12, whoever got the 12, that's going to be first.
All
So
right. So this is the reason why I bring this up. I've had this question a
I mean,
lot,
we'll be
and
doing.
even
We're giving Chris M $100 in the past week. He's probably one of the biggest fans of our podcast ever.
yeah. So the reason why I bring this up, and we'll kind of, I guess, end on this after this is, I get questions from retail customers and detailers, right? One thing I noticed, not everybody, if you leave the aerator in, right, for 2-3 hours, you're just burning your batteries, right? Because the aerator is going to help you get about. Is it fair to say, Christian? I would say 99% of the gas out of the tablet, pretty much, right? Nothing's ever 100. It should be about 100, but nothing's ever 100%, right? So
Yeah, so basically if you're not using the pump and you leave the kit overnight, you're basically going to get out. It really depends on like the hardness of water, the humidity temperature, the ambient temperature of the vehicle, just all these different like variables, how hard your water is, the amount of trash that's in it if it's not clean water. But I mean, realistically, you're going to get between like 60 to 70% of the gas out of the jar when you don't use the pump. When you use the pump, you're going to get 100% of the gas out of the jar. That yellow is actually the gas. So when you no longer have yellow inside the jar, that means all the gas is inside the cabin and out of the jar. You're going to get the maximum results that you can get
no
from the
need to
kit.
leave the aerator running for 4 hours. You're just burning your AA batteries, all right? Because I've
Yeah.
had people.
But I mean, if you got guys that want to do something overnight or if they got a car in the shop or whatever and they just want to get that maximum amount of gas out, I mean, they can just let it run. The worst thing you're
Yeah.
going to do is burn through the batteries,
Worst thing to do, but I'm just telling people out there that are doing a job and they think they need it in longer than that. I would say maximum of the aerator. Maybe if you want to go a little overboard, maybe hour, 15 minutes.
What a stand up guy. We got Chris M saying drop another question, and only those people who haven't won are eligible. I'll tell you what, man. This guy's a
might-
stand up cat. Stand up cat. All right. I'm gonna run it back real fast. This one's gonna be really silly. It's gonna be real easy at the same time, though. Who was the first artist that Daniel mentioned in the rock or rap category when we had asked it through the new segment, Fast AF Boyee? Let's see what we got there. There we go. We got
Nice
Victor,
cue.
right? Boom,
Victor
boom.
got it. Up.
Victor, do us a solid. You could shoot us an email, and then we'll get your information over to the guys at Thor. They'll get you out a $50
Awesome,
gift card.
man.
Be able to get you kind of up there. Guys, I just want to let everybody know we appreciate you sticking by us. I know we went a little bit longer than we needed than typically we try to do with the pod, but I'm okay with going a little bit longer when the guest we have is keeping things, interesting with us and we're having a good time. So
it's rigged.
It's rigged.
It's rigged.
He knows.
I'm telling you,
I know him. He's just
of
joking.
course. One of the things we're going to try to continue to actively do here, guys, is just make the podcast fun. If you want to see something, or if you guys have any questions you want to rip down, or any ideas for us to do, I mean, we're not scared to really do anything. We're going to push some limits here. I feel like we might be one of the more controversial podcasts that are part of the Thor Network. Speaking of the Thor Network, I mean, obviously, I think most of you guys probably tune into some of the other pods, but anybody who's on here that's new that might not know, the House of Rags started their own media company. We have a bunch of podcasts that are pretty much going on every day. You can check the schedule. They have it on their Facebook, but basically we got something going off every day. I know Chelsea does her show on Wednesday nights. We got Christy who does her show on Monday. Nick does Nick at Night on Sunday night, which, by the way, I'm actually going to be a guest on Nick at Night this coming Sunday. Me and Nick just talked about it. We're going to do a live stream, kind of pull him away from having to do so much of his editing and super creation videos that he does and let him have a little bit more of a relaxed time and just kind of run with something organic and flowing. But check out the Thor Podcast Network, guys. There's tons of cool content on there. Teach you a bunch of things. Everybody else is kind of a little bit more on the serious note. We kind of play around, have a little bit more fun. So if you want to learn something, obviously there's a bunch of people over on the network that can teach you a couple good things. I shouldn't say a couple good things, many good things regarding how to improve your business, work on personal interactions with customers, different tips and tools, tricks of the trades, things like that or whatever. So be sure to check them out if you can. while we're at it, just want to let everybody know Thor's running a bunch of specials over at their website. So I believe it's right till Christmas. They're running a 12 days of Christmas sale promotion right now, which, every day you got to tune in. They got a different thing going. But outside of that, I think that pretty much wraps it up for us. Godfrey, we got anything else we got to do out of here? Or where are we at?
Nah, man, we're good. We have not wasted any time tonight. We have taken extra time, so we have mission accomplished.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
That's what's
Matt,
up. Well, listen, we just dropped another bomb on them. It was fun to have a good time out here today with Daniel. We appreciate you coming out, man. Obviously, you got me salty. I'm going to get off of this podcast, jump right on Amazon, order myself some LED lights so I don't keep whacking my head at nighttime. And outside of that, man, like I said, always welcome to come back, bro. The invite is always
you let me know,
standing.
brother.
We're out here every Tuesday night. I know you got a lot of people in the game. If you ever want to jump on with somebody, or if you just want to kind of jump on and shoot the shit, like, we're here, man. But outside of that, man, I think we're pretty much, we're rocking and rolling. Is that it? Godfrey, you got anything else?
Nah,
Let me just see
say,
something real
don't be a
fast.
hater.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Subscribe and smash that like button.
Smash
like
that like
that.
button, guys.
I like that
And,
for sure.
This is the Funkin' Homies, not saying goodbye, just saying stay fresh.
Absolutely. Peace, y'all. Let me run this little outro thing that we do, and we out of here. We'll catch you next Tuesday.
All right, fellas.
Run that. Why is I'm not? Hold up. We ain't running that. What's going on? Yeah.
Listen.